Hey Magic fans, welcome to this episode of Penny for Your Thoughts, the podcast of the Orlando Magic UK. As always, I'm joined by the gruesome twosome, Geraint Jones and Mikey Clark. Mikey, how you doing?
All good, mate. Thank you. How was your run this afternoon? Getting ready for
nice,
the 5K?
Yes, very nice. I'm enjoying getting a bit of practicing. Geraint, you good?
Oh, fantastic, mate. Very excited for this episode to have my sporting hero on our podcast is, something you can only dream of.
Well, Geraint sort of led us into it there. We're joined by a very, very special guest today. Someone we were last with you prior to Game 3 of the 2019 playoffs. An Orlando Magic legend, wearing number 25 out of Chicago, Illinois, Nick Anderson. Nick, how you doing? Thank you for joining us.
All right. Thank you guys for having me. And all the people over in UK who are listening right now, it's a pleasure. This is much joy for me to be with you guys.
Well, thank you. Honestly, you've done such an honor in coming on. We're made up. As I said to you earlier on, we're like kids in a candy store at the moment. It's amazing for us. Thank you so much. We have got an awful lot to get through because we've had so many questions come in from our followers. So what we'll do is we'll start off with, as we always do, with a quick roundup of the Magic news for the week. Injury list: no change with Jonathan Isaac or Markelle. Cole Anthony is said to be not near returning, but is now taking part in light shooting. James Ennis remained out with a calf issue. Michael Carter-Williams has been down ill. Terence Ross has been absent through a knee issue. On the positive, Evan Fournier and Aaron Gordon returned to the lineup and really did make a positive impact in all three games, in all the games. Fantastic. Orlando lost on Sunday in the Amway, 102-97 to the Miami Heat. And on the road in New York, 93-94 on Thursday evening. Let's be fair, I think we'd got an opportunity to win each of those games, but the live ball turnovers really did harm us. And last night, we broke the 9-game losing streak with a fantastic performance, beating the high-flying Brooklyn Nets 113-121. Aaron Gordon scored a brilliant 38 points, shooting 70% from the field, including 7 of 8 from deep. Season high for Aaron Gordon and also Evan Fournier with 31 points. Jason Randle had his best game by far in a Magic uniform. And the Magic drilled a season high 21 3-pointers. It's like when you were on the team, Nick, shooting threes away that way.
But those who watched that game, if you watch that game, the ball movement and the sharing of the ball, the good penetration and the defense collapse, and you kicking it out to the wide open shot, to the guy for a wide open shot. And you think about it, it was great patience. Yeah, it wasn't like you were forcing, rushing. You let what we say, let the game come to you. Let the shots come to you. And there were multiple open shots because of the good ball movement, the good penetration, and the good sharing of the ball.
Yeah, there was some really, really good basketball to watch that the Magic played last night. Some fantastic ball movement. It was good to see. I also really enjoyed seeing Aaron Gordon interviewed afterwards. I love to hear him say that they feel that they are lethal when they are playing together and when they are fit. It was good to hear.
Oh yeah, no question. He made several good points in that interview. You're talking about let's think about this. With a healthy roster, that is a very dangerous Orlando Magic team. Very dangerous. If you can get everybody healthy and more practice time, coaches die for practice time because the seasons are so grueling. You're on the road. There's not a lot of practice time, and you think about the situations that every team is dealing with, every organization is dealing with, and that's the COVID. So it's so many restrictions. So you're so limited on things that you can do. Players who are in and out because of health protocols here and there. So it's a challenge for every organization. But you were dealt the hand, so you go ahead and you play the hand. So, but you know, that win last night, I think it was a confidence booster, you know, after losing 9 in a row.
Yeah.
And then you come in and you beat a team that is really pegged to be in the NBA Finals. That's what everybody are saying in the Brooklyn Nets. You got Kyrie Irving and James Harden, and they absent of Kevin Durant, but the game still must be played. So it was a good win against a good quality basketball team.
Yeah, it was. Aaron Gordon played some brilliant defense, really good. But Nick, I'm going to move on because we've got you on the show, and hey, we've got so many questions to ask you. So many questions.
All right.
But I'm not going to move on without saying it. I don't think it can be overstated your importance to the impact of on our team. You're the Magic's first ever draft selection, 11th overall in '89.
Yeah.
Played for 10 seasons with us. Mm-hmm. Averaged 15.4 points per game, 5.3 rebounds per game, 2.8 assists, and 1.5 on the steals. That's some good figures. There's some good figures. And then we get to the rankings for the franchise. All-time leader in games played at 692, steals with 1,004, field goals attempted 8,976, and 3-point field goals attempted at 2,480. You're a good player, my man. I hope you realize how good.
You think about those. For people who don't know, we're going to have a little discussion right here. You know, you talk about those 3 points attempted. You know, coming into the league, I wasn't known as a shooter. I was known as a slasher, guy that runs the floor, get to the basket, put it on the floor, get to the basket and finish. But I put in the work. I put in the work of expanding my game because I posted up all the time. I didn't care if you were 6'10" or 5'10". I would post you up, and I gradually worked on my shot, and I was able to move out and broaden my game, add more to my game. As I got familiar with the league and growing as a player, and it became a weapon of mine. I can take you inside. I can get you off the dribble and get to the basket. And then if you step back off me, I can knock down a 3. So I have to put the stamp on and say, hey, it was all about putting in the work and want to expand my game. My father always told me that learn how to do a little bit of everything. And I think I did that.
And that work showed with, what was it, over 4,000 field goals made and 900 from the 3. That's, yeah. And there's 2 other things I really have to mention. Career high of 50 points from the bench.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you a little story about that. Those who don't know, I was injured that game in New Jersey. I had a pulled hamstring. And that was the game that Shaq tore down the backboard. So a lot of people don't know that happened in the same game. But anyhow, Anthony Bowie, who started in my place at the 2 guard, got in early foul trouble. And Coach Matty Gukas came to me and asked me if I can give him anything because I wasn't supposed to play. And I said, Coach, I could try. I went out in 33 minutes. I had 50 points with a bad hamstring.
That's
crazy.
I should have played you 48.
That's amazing. That's just awesome, man. That is really brilliant. And since 2006, you've served as the team's community ambassador.
Yeah.
And 2014, inducted into the Orlando Magic Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And
what an
totally
honor.
Deserved. Yeah, totally deserved honor.
What an honor. And such a great organization that means so much to me. As you mentioned, being the first draft pick in the team's history. And a lot of people don't know that I was the first player picked in the team's history. Spent my first 10 seasons here. I seen from day one the big transformation of this organization, of this ball club, making strides in such short period of time. Look how early we went to the finals in our careers. It wasn't long at all. You know, drafting myself, then there was Dennis Scott, and then there was Brian Williams, who changed his name to Bison Dele. You know, you had Stanley Roberts, Shaquille O'Neal, Penny Hardaway. Look at all those top college players that, you know, the Magic had the opportunity to bring in and build a great franchise. And yes, Shaq was the game changer. There's no question about it. Bringing in him from LSU, 7'1.5", and what he done speaks for itself. And the organization took off. And then, you know, I always remember my late great father saying in the draft when we had back-to-back #1 picks and we drafted Chris Webber and traded him to Golden State for Penny Hardaway. And my dad said, you know, you guys got the best player in the draft. I'll never forget that. And Penny Hardaway. And what such a great 1-2 punch with him and Shaquille and me and Dennis on the wings. And then you got Horace Grant and Brian Shaw. Those were great times. I enjoyed every moment of it, playing with those guys. We were so connected on the court as well as off the court, and I think that had a lot to do with our success and what we did such a short period of time.
Yeah. Mikey, go.
I was just going to say that leads me perfectly into my question.
Does.
So when you're obviously part of that Magic team in the early years before Shaq was drafted, how did it change for you, and how did it change for the franchise when they drafted Shaq? Because I know you were talking about you had to adapt your game. You didn't shoot many threes coming out of college, and then did that really change when Shaq was drafted? You thought, I've got to change my game because of him?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah. You know, again, as I said earlier, you know, I posted up a lot. I had a 14, 15-foot jump shot, and plays were ran for me to post up a small guy, big guy. If a big guy was on me, I would step out and go around him and get to the basket. Smaller guy, I would try to use my size and strength to get over him, past him. But when the big fella came, that middle was all his. And I knew that I had to work on my shot, even though I was working on it before we drafted him. And with his presence, it opened up more opportunities for me inside and outside, because you had to contend with him down there in that paint. So he made my game a whole lot easier. There's no question about it.
Cool. Nick, my first game that I ever watched live in the UK, we didn't have many NBA games, was back on the 22nd of February, 1998. A game you may remember. It was Shaq's return to the arena, where you hit a three-pointer to basically win us the game, 96-94. So that remains my favorite all-time game performance. I mean, I even watched it on YouTube the other day. But Lewis Rushworth and I both like to know, what is your favorite performance that you contributed to a Magic game?
Wow. That's a hard one. Oh,
you can say the same game as me if you want.
Now that was a great game, because you know, everybody, you know, the arena was jam-packed, as you know. You playing the Los Angeles Lakers, and you look at, you know, guys on that roster, you Shaq, Kobe, and it was Shaq's first game back to the old arena. And the fans were ready, they were hyped, ready for that game. It was a big game for us. It was on national television. And it came down to a last second shot, you know, for us.
Yeah.
I'll never forget Coach Daly drawed up a play for me, and I came off of 3 screens. Came down the right side, off of 3 screens, and I came around that last screen, and it was a good one, a good screen, and Derek Harper delivered the ball right to me in the right spot, and I just turned into my shot, held it, good form, release, follow through, and it was a bucket. And then I had to give him the Merton Hanks, the chicken walk.
We love that.
It was great. But the Lakers had an opportunity to hit a shot. There, it was fortunate enough for us. They missed a shot and game over. So it was a big game. And if I recall, I don't know if I had 30 points, 32, somewhere around
30 points. And
yeah.
Bo Outlaw played 48 minutes that game.
Yeah.
He played every second. So I was watching it the other day, and it's remarkable when you look back at it.
Yeah, it was, speaking of Bo Outlaw, he's a guy that never got tired. I used to wonder, do this guy ever get tired? I mean, he just run all day, every day. But that was a great game. Penny was out that game, if I'm not mistaken, because he's hit knee issue at the time. But the guys that were out there fighting, we put up a good fight on national television against a great basketball team in the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah. One of our followers, Ian Caldwell.
Because that shirt you have on, that's an old school.
I've got them all, Nick.
Yeah, I love that.
I've got them all up there.
Yeah, I love that shirt you got on. I love it. Love it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you actually signed the, the Stars one. You signed that one.
Okay. Now, that's a jersey that me and Penny had some input in designing with the design. What's her name? I was just about to call out her name. She's out of New York. Man, I can't think of her name at the moment, but I still have all those jerseys myself. And I still have my rookie jersey. If I try to put it on, I would need about 10 people to help me get out of it.
That's awesome and really interesting because everybody likes the Blue Stars jersey.
Yeah.
We were speaking about it last week, and I think Mikey called for it, to be brought back.
Yeah, but my rookie jersey was those jerseys, and it was embroidered, and when it get wet, I mean it's heavy. So I don't want them to bring those back. Not those. Let's move on from those. I still have my white rookie jersey. I was just taking a look at it the other day. I was like, wow, I was this small. There's no way they would have to lube me down with oil to get that jersey over me and get it off now. No way. Somebody asked me the other day, can I still fit my rookie jersey? And I said, man, you have to be kidding me. There's no way that I can get in that jersey. If I do, I'll suffocate.
Well, Nick, I'm going to ask you a question that came in from one of our followers, Ian Caldwell. What was going through your mind as you stole the ball from Michael Jordan in the '95 playoffs?
Just making a basketball play. That's all. My job every night was to defend the top scorers on the other team if he wasn't the center. And besides guys like Karl Malone, but just to make a basketball play, it was fortunate enough that I made a good basketball play on the best player in my opinion. Everybody had their own opinions about who's the GOAT, and I respect that. But in my opinion, Michael Jordan is the best basketball player that I have ever faced. I can't speak for everybody else. I would not do that.
Nick, you're the GOAT.
What about goat's milk? No, but I just made a basketball play. I picture it in my head all the time. When they inbound the ball to him, and I was in front of him, and I reached at him, and he went around me. When he went around me, he was dribbling the ball in his right hand, but he was looking over his left shoulder. And I came up the right side of him, and I tapped it away with my left hand. I tapped it to Penny. Penny started the fast break. Nice little bounce pass to Horace for the dunk past Tony Kukoc. So it was just a basketball play. And I have to say this, I'm glad it did happen against Michael Jordan. But I think if it would have happened against anybody else, I don't think I would have got, it would have been as much as attention grabber as it was, because it was Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
but it was a great play.
Sense, yeah.
I'm glad it happened.
Yeah, just milk it, Nick. Milk it.
Take all the plaudits, my friend. Take all the plaudits.
Yeah, Nick, that leads us on to that series where when we beat the Bulls in '95.
Mhm.
Everybody focuses on Horace Grant going back to Chicago to close out that series.
Yes.
But we know you're from Chicago. You're a big Chicago guy. What did that mean for you winning in Chicago to knock MJ out and the Bulls in '95?
That was great. You just don't know how much hate calls I got from my friends.
And it's still happening.
Yeah. Don't ever come back here. But it meant a lot to me because, as you mentioned, being from Chicago, born and raised, and going back and beating them on their floor, that was pretty special. And arguably, one of the highlights of my entire career was beating the Bulls at home, again against arguably the best player in the world at the time. I know he came back from a short season. I remember all the stuff that went down during that playoff series. Him coming out with number 45, game one, and then everything happened. And supposedly, I said, "Well, 45 is not like 23." Now, next game, here comes number 23. So all the drama that was involved in that, it was pretty cool for it to happen. And if you notice, if you look at the shoes that I had on Jordans,
yeah,
with my number on it. And although my Nike deal was because of Michael Jordan, me and MJ are pretty good friends, and at the time I had on my Jordans. Look what took place. Maybe I was your airness at that time. It was great. I mean, going against MJ, just special. It was just special. I can say that I can always tell people that we had our battles, and arguably so, and just a great basketball player, great person. There's not enough things that I can say about him because we have been out several times, had a glass of wine, beers, and stuff like that. Just a phenomenal guy to be around. Just a good friend, in my opinion.
Yeah, cool.
We had David Steele on, Nick, a couple of probably about 15 episodes ago now, and he told us a story of being stranded in Allenstown, Pennsylvania. Have you got any other standout stories from the road trips you had with the Magic?
Allentown, Pennsylvania. I remember that. We got snowed in, and we at the hotel, and we got a chance to play pool and hang out with Marilyn Manson. That was great. But you think about that team that we had. We were young, we were energetic, it was fun to watch. Everybody wanted to see us play. And we can fly in and get to the hotel. It'd be 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's 500 or 600 people standing outside, and it's 20 below zero. And I used to say, you got to be kidding me, just to get a glimpse of some guys getting off the bus. but here's a story for you. I never forget, we were in because we did, like I said, we did everything together, all of us. We go to Minnesota, and all of us want to go to the Mall of America. So we get over to the mall, myself, Shaq, Penny, Horace, Dennis Scott, Brian Shaw. It's obvious everybody want to see Shaq and Penny. We walking around the Mall of America, and the whole mall is following us. we couldn't do anything. Like, the whole mall is okay. We're gonna follow these guys. So much commotion, and the same thing happened in Indianapolis when we went to play the Pacers. We would go out together. We would go to dinner, and it's like, okay, everybody's focused on us and forget about what they're doing. So it was so much fun. How much attention that we got. They used to call us the basketball, the Beatles of basketball, because everybody just followed us. I mean, and again, I just say it was totally because of Shaq and Penny, and not only that, the way we were playing ball that year, we were an exciting team to watch. Young, I mean, just a lot of fun. I mean, I think every game at home that year on our way to the finals was sold out. It was standing room only, and to say that I was a part of that, it's a treat. It is definitely a treat.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that finals team, Nick. The year after, of course, you got to face the Bulls again, but there was a lot of injuries, weren't there? And I think that's something that wasn't really captured in The Last Dance. I mean, you were injured. I think Horace was injured. So we didn't get a fair crack at, getting the Bulls again.
Yeah, and they was mad as hell. Yeah, and I think they came out with some vengeance. And then you think about MJ had a full season, a full training camp to get his legs, get prepared, get back into his form. And yeah, did they probably check off on the playoff schedules if we meet again? I think they did, and they ended up sweeping us for zip. Yeah, they were prepared. I'm not going to use excuses as injuries for us because that's part of the game, but I give them the credit. They were prepared. They had put that check on the schedule for us, so they were ready. The way it ended in Chicago, and they were very upset when we lifted Horace up, and Horace was swinging that towel in Chicago. That resonated in their head for a long time. They did not. They did not. The fans, the announcers, the parking attendants, nobody forgot that, and they came out with a vengeance.
It's the sort of thing that gets pinned on the locker room wall for the following year, isn't it? Nick, I want to just drop onto the current role, and obviously you're super involved in everything that the Magic do in the community and the Orlando Magic Youth Foundation. Mikey, Geraint, my daughter Heather, and I have all signed up to do the Orlando Magic virtual 5K run on April the 10th. So we're busy doing the training for that. But for you, how important is the work that the team do for the Orlando community?
Well, I go back and I think about Mr. Rich DeVos before he passed away. I can remember some of the things that he always said. He said that this team belongs to the community, and we will be in the community doing the things to help this community. And those words were spoken loudly, and they were taken loudly. And I'm just happy to be a part of the organization, to come back and be in the community. I think about all the community has done for me. They were there, good, bad, and indifferent. and I could only give back to those who given back to me. And I'm happy to be a part of it. Help those less fortunate. Help build a great foundation. Help build just so much. And like I said, I've been around this community from day one, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. And the organization allowed me to be the face of the organization in the community. It means a lot. And I say this to say that if they given me that opportunity, they have that much confidence in me, evidently it's something that I did right along the way, that they appreciated, and how I represented not only myself, but the Anderson family, along with representing the organization. And I know that every day that when I step out my front door, that not only I'm representing myself and my family, but I'm representing the Orlando Magic. So I have to be on my P's and Q's. I have to dot my I's and cross my T's.
You're very generous with your time with fans in the Amway. That's beyond doubt. We've all experienced that. One of the things we were talking about, Nick, when I gave you a call to organise coming on, was the social justice side of things. And the Magic have taken a very vocal stance on social justice and voting. How does it make you feel to be part of an organisation with such principles?
It starts from the top, and I said this before. Mr. DeVos, he set the bar, the standards, and what will happen, and it has carried on through the organization. I mean, it's just great the way that he feels about so many things. He had high standards of so much, and those standards has not changed. He left word. This is how he wants certain things done, and it's been carried on throughout the organization ever since. And I say, the day that he purchased the organization, the team, it's been a high standard on and off the court, and it hasn't changed.
You know, honestly, I've never spoke to anybody who is within the organisation of the Magic who doesn't have anything other than huge respect and great words about the DeVos family. Oh,
there's not enough that I could say about him, and especially Mr. DeVos. I mean, you know, I can't speak for a lot of owners because I don't know a lot of owners of sports organizations. But what I can say is from experiences with the DeVos family, and especially before Mr. DeVos passed away, I used to get calls, especially, you know, when I played for the Magic in my day, just out of the blue from Mr. DeVos. I'm just calling to check on, see how you and your family are doing. Just out of the blue. Impressive. It could be the summertime. You know, you could be vacationing somewhere. He called me one time from his yacht, and it was over the summer. And when I got connected, I was like, okay, Mr. DeVos. I was kind of, you know, like, what's going on? And he said, I just called to check on you, see how you was doing, and see how your family are doing. I mean, that meant the world to me. That meant the world to me to get a call from the owner, and all he's doing is just checking on.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I just want to know how you're doing, and that meant a lot to me, and I'll never forget it. And it's not just one time that he called; it was on several different occasions. Another time, this is the Dwight Howard era when the team went to the finals. That team, I'm sitting at home. And we were playing Boston later that evening. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was a 5:00 game. This was when the Celtics had Kevin Garnett, Rajon Rondo, Paul Pierce. I get a call from Mr. DeVos' secretary and she hooked me up with Mr. DeVos, and he said, I want you to come to the arena early. I want to have dinner with you before the game. That blows my mind. I'm like, okay. You know, it's those things that meant so much to me. And he very rarely talked about, he would mention it here and there about basketball, but he wants to know how you are doing, how your family is doing. And that meant a lot to me. Yeah, I mean, and then he's gone now, but his sons and who are running the organization now are the same way. It's nothing different. It's nothing different. I just love being around the family.
And that's the stuff that as fans isn't seen.
No. See, when you looking from the outside in, and you might hear little bits and pieces about different things when you don't know the whole story of something, and people make comments here and there. Yeah, rightfully so. You have that right to do so. But with me being right there and seeing it, I know, and from my experience, once again, I would never speak for someone else, but from what I've experienced, it's been 100 with me. So
that's brilliant.
Cool. Nick, tell us about your trip to London in 1993 for the 2 preseason games you had with the Atlanta Hawks. How was your experience in the UK?
Oh, it was great. It was different now. You know, being in the hotel, I'm like, because I never forget, my mom went on that trip with us, and I'm in the hotel, and I'm like, hey, these beds are not big enough. Hey, this bed is made for a little guy. But the overall experience, me getting around and getting to go do a little sightseeing, and back then I was a shopaholic. I loved to shop, and boy, did I! When he had free time, I shopped. So it was a great experience playing over there, and the fans. It was great, and I need to get back there. That's what I need.
Right.
Is that the only time you've been over, or did you come in 2016?
No, that was the only time I was over. I haven't been back. So it was a great experience. I need to get back over there.
Hey, come on over. We'll show you around, man. No problem at all. You can have 3 guides for free.
You know, I was hoping. I was really thinking that, you know, there's an opportunity to get over and do some basketball camps. I would love that, to get over and put together some camps and be over there a week or so or whatever, and just enjoy the camp and get a chance to get around. That's what my thinking is.
It's a huge sport. Participation wise, basketball is a huge sport in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. Really is.
Fastest growing sport, I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Nick, one of the players I wanted to ask you about on this Magic roster at the moment, who is similar in stature to you, is Chuma Okeke, somebody who was also a really good on-ball defender.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, you shot 35.6% from 3 for your career. He's shooting 35.7 this season. So those numbers are very similar. What are you seeing from Chuma this season? And is there any areas that you think he really needs to work on? I know he's young, so he's still got a lot of development to do.
He has a lot of growing to do. And you mentioned one thing that I like to do is play defense, and I think he's becoming more and more a better defender, especially on the ball. I think once he gets that outside shot down and be able to not only post guys up, but face guys up and get around them, left hand and right hand, getting to the basket and finishing. And like you said, he has a lot of growing to do. He still has a lot of basketball to learn. And I think he will do just that because he's a hard worker and he has some great teachers over there, and Coach Clifford and his coaching staff. and get more comfortable in his game.
Yeah.
Let his game evolve. And I tell a lot of young players, we have a tendency, because I did it when I was young, to force things. Let the game come to you. Once the game comes to you, things happen a little bit more easier for you. You don't press yourself and try to do things that you just really out of your comfort zone, so to speak. But I think he's coming around, and he's going to benefit more because of the style of the game today is they're putting up a lot of 3-point shots.
Right.
So he's going to have more opportunities there to knock down threes and take threes like that. So once he gets that consistency that, hey, you can't leave me open, catch and shoot, and once it leave his hand, he know it's going in, and because of the confidence, he know he can make it. I think he's going to be an exceptional basketball player because his athleticism and his size, he utilizes it very well. He utilizes his body right now as a young player. And as he gets more minutes, you will see more of what he can do.
Do you? I'm going to ask you the question about. Obviously, we knew JI was going to be out this season. Where would you have seen the team had we not had such an injury crisis? Where would you have seen us being around this season? We were kind of around 6. We were thinking around 6 at the start of the season.
Yeah, and with a healthy JI and a healthy Markelle Fultz, I didn't see any more AC. I'm looking 4, 5 in that range. Guys staying healthy. And in my own personal opinion, I said this before JI got hurt. You were about to see an all-star in the making. A guy at 6'11" that can do a little bit of everything. He can guard 1 through 4. Utilize his size, his shot blocking ability, moves his feet well, can knock down the jump shot. And it was so unfortunate that he got hurt because I think he was well on his way of making a big name for himself in this league.
Yeah. Now, before we move on from asking you questions, we've got a few quick fire questions that came in from followers of ours, if we're okay to fire those at you, Nick. From Alan Kane, who was the most naturally gifted player that you actually played with?
Naturally gifted, Penny Hardaway. There's nothing I didn't like about this kid. Oh man. Just at 6'7.5", 6'8", inside, outside, his agility, his grace, his athleticism, he could do it all. And it was a sad day for me to see his career come from here down to a lower level because of a knee injury. I mean, he was special. When they used to call him Penny for Heaven, and that's exactly what he was. He was special. And you always think about that question I hear today, what if he would have never got hurt? And this, with all respect due to these young players today, the James Hardens and the Kevin Durant's and all those guys, if Penny Hardaway would have stayed healthy, his name would have been mentioned all the time, not sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick, we've got one from Lewis Rushworth. I think I know the answer to this one, but who was the toughest player you had to guard?
Let's say besides Michael Jordan?
Besides MJ, yeah.
Joe Dumars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe Dumars was a handful. And he was my idol. He was somebody that I wanted to emulate my game after because I like to play on both ends of the floor. I love playing defense, and I think Joe Dumars was that guy. He played defense. He was a hell of a defensive player, and he can come down on the other end of the floor and give you 20, 25. So and away from the court, the way that he carried himself. And I just had so much respect for him. I always, and I still to this day, I think when he took over the Pistons after his days over, he was a hell of an executive, a good mind to have in basketball. And I always wanted to be like Joe Dumars, and I still to this day, I have so much respect for him.
The next one from Gary Craggs. Who's the best coach you played under?
The best coach, and this is all due respect. You know, I would never slight any coach that I played for, but let's say this: one of the bright minds that I played for, Chuck Daly. He's one of the bright minds of basketball that I played for. And, I love him. I love him dearly. Playing for him, I think he was just a smart mind. And like I said, that's all with all due respect, not to slight any other coach that I played for, because all of them are bright in their own ways.
Just on that point, Nick, when I was watching that game that you torched the Lakers, Chuck Daly was, of course, the coach, and there was an in-game segment where they talked to Coach Chuck Daly, and he did say at the time, you know, this is probably the most fun I've had coaching a team when he was coaching your 97-98 team. So that's really interesting. So the next question comes from Adam Baker. Who is the one player you wish you could have played alongside?
Wow. Besides Michael Jordan?
I expect so, yeah.
LeBron James.
Good answer.
Yeah.
LeBron James.
I can see that.
I think he's special. A guy that can do what he does for the game at his size, his IQ. He's a player that I would love to be on the floor, because especially when he was younger, I'm not saying that he's slowing down. You know, everybody gets a step slower as time goes on, but he's a guy that his energy, I would try to match his energy every night. I'm the type of guy, I would be looking at him and say, if he can put out that energy, why can't I? Yeah. I like those challenges, you know, every night. Why can't I put out that type of energy? I just like the way he approaches the game and how he has an effect on the game. Whether you love him or hate him, and this is my own, everybody has their own opinion, and I respect everybody's own opinion. And I say this today, I think LeBron James is the best all-around basketball player in the world.
Yeah.
One thing
I'm personally a fan.
Sorry, Paul.
No, I was just saying I'm a fan. I think the guy's great.
I don't see what's not to be a fan about. You know, you hear, I want to address this too, and I hate when fans do it, because it's so far from the truth that LeBron James created these super teams. That's so far from the truth. Yeah. You know, you think of, you know, whether you want to call it a super team or not, you know, you go back when the Lakers had Gary Payton, Karl Malone, Shaq, Kobe Bryant. Is that not a super team? You go back to when Houston had Charles Barkley, Akeem Olajuwon, Drexler. Yeah. Is that not a super team? So, you know, they talk about super teams. Oh, stop it. Please stop it. Because it's far from the truth. If these kids today, in which they do talk, teaming up with each other, it is what it is. Yeah. Not every player wants to do it, but that's just the way the game is today. Who would thought that the league today will be averaging 50-some threes a game? It's the way the game is today, so accept it.
Yeah.
This is how they play today.
And
So-
and all the best players want to play with each other, don't they? It's just natural.
You know, just accept the way the game is today. You know, let's switch gears on American football. They don't want you to hit the quarterback anymore. So you can't hit the quarterback anymore like that. That's the rules of the game. That's how the game has changed. So if you want to play in this league, what they say, you have to abide by the rules.
Right.
Those are the rules today. So stop it. You know, enjoy what it is today, because for right now, for the foreseeable future, that's just the way it is. Am I right or wrong?
Exactly.
I would agree.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. You know, I always say this. If you don't want to go to the game, you don't want your season tickets anymore, give them back, because there's somebody waiting to get them.
Yeah.
If you turn let's give a great example. If you're a Green Bay Packers fan and you're upset with the Green Bay Packers and you want to give your tickets back, by all means get them, because there's been a waiting list for 50 years.
Yeah.
Just give them back because somebody's going to get those tickets. So I had a friend the other day. Her father is a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. He has season tickets. He's had them for 30 years. And he's upset with different things that's going on around in the league. And he won't go to the game, but he still have his tickets. What sense does that make?
I know somebody wearing a 25 shirt that would have them.
Yeah. And he won't let anybody use the tickets.
Oh,
but
really?
every year he's still paying for them. Come on, what sense does that make? Because you're upset with some things that's going on around the league. So, hey.
Stop buying tickets.
Give me the tickets. I'll go.
And the last one from us, Nick, from Ian Caldwell. He asked who the biggest trash talker was during the finals run. So, again, it can probably be not Michael Jordan, but it probably is.
Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
Oh, Reggie used to get up. You ever seen the cartoons where, you know, the ducks and be up under the guy's skin? You can see the ducks. That's how Reggie Miller used to get. Oh, he used to talk so much trash. Oh, my goodness. And it used to get so annoying. You're so angry. And he just talking, and then he talking and go down and he hit a 3 or something. And it's just talking more. It's like, I want to catch this guy around his neck one time.
And of course, on that finals run, you played him 7 times.
Yeah, I mean, he was a competitor. I mean, he was fierce. He brought it every night, and I have to give him respect. He was a phenomenal basketball player. He was very smart when playing the game. Just all around. He wasn't a great defensive player, but he tried. He just didn't give up on stuff. He never gave up on assignments. And offensively, he was hell. He running off of 3 and 4 screens. I mean, he always moved without the ball. That's what made him such a dangerous player, because he moved without the ball all the time. And but he was a treat to play against. He was a special player.
Yeah. That's brilliant. That's amazing.
Brilliant. Thank you.
So moving on, we have 4 games this week. We play at Boston on Sunday. Early tip UK wise, fantastic time, 7:30 p.m. Geraint, you're going to cover this quickly.
Yeah, so like you said, early tip, happy days. So we don't have to stay up until ungodly hours. So Boston are currently 20-21, good for 8th in the Eastern Conference. They played last night against the Sacramento Kings and lost 107-96. They're currently 12-7 at home Two injury concerns. Romeo Langford and Tristan Thompson are both listed currently as out due to COVID protocols.
Well, Boston has they've been a little bit of roller coaster, so to speak. There, I think they're still trying to find out who they are this season. What team isn't under the circumstances of what you have to do for us playing basketball? Because at any point you don't know who in or who's out.
Yeah.
So they're on a little roller coaster, but you look at Jason Tatum and Kemba Walker and the rest of the guys. Those guys got some good ball players. It's going to be a tough task for us going in there, obviously, but coming off of a good win at home, a good confidence booster, they can go in and catch Boston on a downfall. You have to just go in and play good basketball, do the things that you did, capitalize on what you did in the Brooklyn game, take all that over into the Boston game, defensively and offensively, and how you shared the ball and the things that you got, how you got easy baskets and things like that. Take it over into the Boston game, and they can come out with a win. It's not just go in and do the things that you're capable of doing and play the kind of basketball that you're capable of playing. You can get a win.
Well, we have improved on defence, and it's going to be so important this week because the following game is Denver on Tuesday in the Amway. Another decent tip time for the UK, 11 p.m.
Yeah,
Mikey.
Yeah, they're 25-16, fifth in the Western Conference. They're 13-8 on the road. They've won 3 straight, and they're coming off a win against Chicago last night, which was an overtime win, 131-127. They've only really got 2 main injuries, and that's Gary Harris, who's out for the foreseeable future, and Monte Morris, who missed last night's game, so he might be back next week. But they're another team that have been up and down this season, haven't they? Yeah.
Well, your main 2 problems with the Denver Nuggets you have to deal with is Nikola Jokic, the Joker, and Jamal Murray. That's a heck of a 1-2 punch. And, you have some young guys emerging out there, stepping up their game. But those 2 guys you have to keep under control, and especially Nikola Jokic, because he's such a crafty big man, inside, outside, and his passing to be a 7-footer is deadly. So you have to contain them, which is going to be hard. But and I know coaches would agree on this, you got to make somebody else beat you and don't let those 2 beat you.
Yeah. And that really difficult back-to-back because the following night, Wednesday, 24th, midnight tip here in the UK, we have Phoenix. Wow.
We do. So they currently sit at 27-13, good for third in the Western Conference. They played the Minnesota Timberwolves last night, winning 113-101. They're currently 13-5 on the road. 2 injury concerns. Well, Cameron Johnson is out due to COVID protocols, and Torrey Craig is inactive, having just been traded there. So that's all there is to say about them.
Well, you think about the addition, and I always say this, that before this trade came about, was Phoenix was missing a floor general. And now that they have a floor general in Chris Paul that gets everybody involved, and then you have arguably one of the best young players in the league and best shooters in the league in Devin Booker.
Yeah.
He can fill it up. So, and you think about the young talent, the shooters that the Phoenix have out there also, Mikal Bridges. You have
Saric is another one.
Saric, who's 6'10", who can step outside and knock down the shot, who can spread the floor, and young big man in the middle, Ayton.
DeAndre Ayton. Yeah.
So it's another team that you got to be very cautious and aware of what they're capable of doing. And Monty Williams, I think, is a heck of a great coach. Yeah, he's a great coach, but I think Chris Paul makes the Phoenix Suns go right now.
Yeah, that was a masterstroke of a signing.
Yeah.
And to finish the week off, we play Portland Friday, 26th March, midnight tip again.
Yeah, they're 25-16. They're 6th in the West, 11-9 on the road. So that's somewhere that they've struggled. They've also won 3 straight. They beat the Mavs last night, 125-119. Zach Collins is out for the season, and Yusuf Nurkic is potentially back within the next couple of weeks, so he'll be out likely next week. But we get to see our favorite player that doesn't play for the Magic, Lillard. Yeah, Dame time.
Yeah. Well, he's certainly one of my favorites, and if he's not right now being mentioned in the MVP talk, something is wrong.
Yeah.
Because this young man, the last few games, I mean, he's doing it, and then they get another big piece to their puzzle back in CJ McCollum. So they're playing extremely well. 2 guys right there. You have to perimeter guys that can shoot the lights out from the outside, and 2 guys that can who are very deadly of getting out, beating you off the dribble and getting to the basket and finishing. So the guard play got to be exceptionally well when you play against Portland. I think we have an advantage in the middle with Vucevic in the middle. So I think you take advantage of that opportunity and do the things that you're capable of doing. Aaron playing inside outside, and then you got Evan Fournier. He looked very good last night, and so you can continue to play like that with him coming off those down screens and hitting those wide open shots and getting to the basket. These are 4 games that are going to be tough, very, very extremely tough, but if you do the things you're capable of doing, you can win some games.
Yeah. Geraint, you got the prediction right last week, going 1-2. Although you did get the wrong team, you did get the wrong week. You said we'd beat either the Heat or the Knicks.
It's fine. It's fine.
So, what are you shooting for this week, my friend?
I'll go 2-2. Beat Boston, and then it doesn't matter who. I think we could beat Portland. So I'll go with 2-2. Beat Boston, beat Portland.
I've got the same shout. Nick, what would you go with? What's your prediction?
Well, I like the way going into the Boston game. I like the way the guys played last night, and I think that they can win with whatever is going on in Boston. They have a little chemistry issue, whatever that may be. I think they can beat the Boston, win the Boston, and then you playing Denver at home. At home.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go out on a limb. I'm just gonna say 3-1.
Good man, like it.
Mikey?
I would go 2-2. I'm actually going to say 1-3, and the only reason I'm saying that, sorry boys, is
get rid of him.
we got the trade deadline on Thursday, so this might look a lot different after that. So that's
you are so right. I forgot about that. It might look different, but let's say nothing happens. Nothing happens. I'm going to go 3-1.
I'll go 2-2 if nothing happens. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. we go again.
There you go.
Well, our next episode, we're recording on Saturday the 27th. We've actually got Josh Robbins joining us to guide us through the trade deadline. So that's when we go next on Penny for Your Thoughts. Make sure you check out the website, orlandomagicuk.com. Follow our social platforms on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you're shopping, don't forget to use our Magic UK 10 discount code on Fanatics and NBA Store Europe. Some exclusions do apply. Nick, thank you for joining us. You've been so generous with your time and so honest and expansive with the answers. It's been amazing. I just can't say enough. Thank you so much.
Anytime. Thank you guys for having me. And you guys over in the UK, I want you to pull for my University of Illinois Fighting Illini. We were #1 seed. We knocked off Drexel yesterday. And our next opponent, we just gonna take one game at a time, and we trying to get back to the big dance and bring home that trophy.
You've got three.
Playing? You playing Lagola next, Nick?
Say it again.
Are you playing against Lagola next?
Loyola.
Oh, Loyola, is it? Okay.
Loyola of Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a school right there. It's on the north side of Chicago, and that's big implications. You think about University of Illinois. That's 2.5 hour drive, 3 hour drive from Chicago. That's going to be good recruiting implications. There's going to be, but we need to send Loyola back home and let them have a nice vacation.
Well, we always finish by saying "Go Magic." We'll finish as well by saying "Go Illinois."
Yeah, go Magic, go Illinois.
Thank you so much. It's been amazing.
All right,
Mikey,
gentlemen.
Grant, thanks for joining me.
God bless
Thank you, Nick.
you guys, and to your family, stay well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All righty. All right.